So the biofuel that I chose to do my project on was biofuel ethanol. So what is ethanol? Ethanol is a common type of biofuel or alcohol that is found in a wide range of products that we use daily. Now, these products include things like alcoholic beverages, so beers, wines, liquors, foods like ripe bananas or bread, nail polish remover, and gas. So, how was ethanol discovered? Ethanol is one of the earliest biotechnologies employed by humanity. This means that there was evidence that ethanol had been used by humans since the prehistoric times. Back then, it was used as the intoxicating ingredient in alcohol, and it still remains the same today. But let's get into the person who created ethanol. So, Michael Faraday was a scientist who first prepared ethanol synthetically in 1825. He found that sulfuric acid could absorb large volumes of gas from coal. Faraday shared these findings with a chemist named Henry Hennell, who found that it contained sulfonic acid, which is indeed composed in ethanol. So, how is ethanol grown and cultivated? Ethanol itself is not necessarily grown, as it is an alcoholic liquid. However, the process of making ethanol does indeed start with a feedstock, which is grown. There are two different feedstocks. You have a starch/sugar-based feedstock and a cellulosic feedstock. Starch feedstocks are made with corn, while cellulosic feedstocks are made with plants like wheat, grains, and barley. The growth of these products is made possible because of photosynthesis and, of course, the farmers who tend to these crops. But these crops use the process of photosynthesis to grow so that they can then be used in the production of ethanol. Ethanol can be produced in two different ways, starch/sugar-based production and cellulosic production. In starch/sugar-based ethanol production, this type of ethanol production includes two types of milling processes, dry and wet milling. Dry milling grinds corn into flour and then uses the process of fermentation to make ethanol. Wet milling, on the other hand, separates the starch, protein, and fibers in the corn before processing ethanol. In cellulosic ethanol production, uh, this production involves a biochemical pathway. Now, in the biochemical process, hydrolysis breaks down sugars from plants, which are then fermented into ethanol. So, the common denominator between these two production processes is the fermentation process. So what is the status of ethanol's development? Ethanol can be considered widely available. This is because the process of ethanol all begins from crops like corn, grass, wood, barley, wheat, and things of that sort. So these products are easily accessible and don't cost much. Therefore, ethanol is not an expensive biofuel and is widely available to various gas companies who use ethanol in their gas and companies that produce alcohol or foods that indeed contain ethanol as well. So once again, um, ethanol is widely available to the public. So how does ethanol impact the environment? Ethanol is a renewable fuel source that has been able to reduce various pollutants. One of these includes emission pollutants. Adding ethanol to gasoline reduces air pollutants like carbon monoxide, exhaust hydrocarbons, and air toxics like benzene. The use of ethanol has essentially reduced emissions, which is the production of gas released into the environment. We see emission pollutions when you have like a running car or you see like the smoke coming out of the car engine, those would be considered emission pollutants. So how does ethanol affect the economy? In the United States, the price for wet milling and dry milling costs about the same. Wet milling costs about $1.03 and dry milling costs about $1.05, so about a 2-cent difference. This includes the price of feedstock as well as the cost of processing. The revenue for ethanol ranges by price per gallon. At $1.50 per gallon, the revenue will come in at about $4.05. This brings in a total profit of $2.70. So overall, ethanol is a very cost-effective fuel. It's cheaply made as the ingredients used to make ethanol are easily accessible, and the demand to use ethanol in gas is high. This can also be said for alcoholic beverages, of course. So how is the use of ethanol being communicated to the public? One way is by the government implementing its policies. One of these policies includes the Energy Independence Act of 2007. This law required renewable fuel usage to increase to 36 billion gallons annually by 2022, which is this year. This is a very significant example of how the use of ethanol was being communicated to the public. It allowed the public to be aware of ethanol and is important to the gasoline they use. So someone who may not have known what ethanol was or how they use it literally every day has now become aware because of government implementing policies of this sort. So a quick analysis of ethanol. From everything I've learned about ethanol thus far, it is one of the most useful biofuels. This has to do with various reasons. For one, the process of making ethanol is cost effective. This is because the process of making ethanol begins with feedstocks that are grown in the ground. These are easily accessible and can allow for a large production of ethanol. Another reason is because ethanol is used vastly amongst a wide range of products that are used daily. These include alcoholic beverages, bread, mouthwash, acetone, and gas, and many other things. Ethanol is ideal to use in just about every way possible. So, a plan of action that can be implemented to help the production of ethanol is by using something called the Biomass Crop Assistance Program. This is a program that assists landowners to provide the feedstocks in order to produce ethanol. Through this program, the landowner is eligible to receive a percentage of the cost back for producing the feedstocks. This acts as an incentive for farmers to continue to produce the crops needed to create ethanol, which in return increases the production of ethanol, which is used in a great range of products. That is it for my presentation. Here is my works cited, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.